Lakebridge, Spring. Written by Natasha. Narrated by Michael Hacker. Spring. Everything is blooming most recklessly. If it were voices instead of colors, there would be an unbelievable shrieking into the heart of the night. Rainer Maria Rilke. 1. The Silver Knight paused for a moment and listened for the telltale thumping that signaled the enemy had reached the bridge. It was hard to describe the enemy. It was simply evil, clad in pitch-black armor. Light lost its way near the foul being, and in the darkness of the bridge it was only the clatter of his horse's hooves that gave notice of his presence there. The sharp metallic ring that came when the steed's metal shoes collided with structure nails was not present, so the Silver Knight continued on through the morning mist of the forest towards the bridge. He thought to himself that it was this time of year he loved best. Some preferred the autumn, when the leaves turned to yellow and rust. But it was this new time, this green season, that gave life to his worn-out soul. The very mist around him turned green from the light through the leaves, and he did not mind that his view was limited to the few feet in front of him. It was the beauty of all that he stood for, and all that the enemy despised. He no longer kept count of how many springs had passed since his first encounter with the dark night. But with the turning of each passing year, it was only in this season that he felt everything might be right with the world. Summer heated the mist to humid and slowed his quest with its lazy crawl towards darkness. Autumn seemed a fair time, but underneath the cool days and happy festivals, it held death in its grasp, and death was his enemy's accomplice. Winter was no time for war. It chilled his shining silver armor to a frozen shell, and kept his thoughts unclear with its frigid, blinding whiteness. Unbuckling his great silver axe from his back, he saw that the green light even gave his weapon a pale aura of life that its purpose so often had denied. He had forged it himself in the workshop that was all his father had left behind before his own enemy, an Eastern lord who wore the device of the burning red sun upon his shield, defeated him on the field of battle. There was nothing dishonorable in his death, and the Silver Knight held no ill will for the man who had left him an orphan. It was an honorable battle, and his father respected and admired his opponent for both his own bravery and that of his people, who lived and fought with a passion born of fierce belief in their gods and mighty loyalty to their kings. His father always said he would gladly fight with such men if given the chance. The Silver Knight wished he had a few such men with him this day. His father always warned him to be careful of wishes. They were full of promise but held no prize. A good weapon, his father said, would serve him thousands of times before a wish happened to come true. He could not wish the enemy undone. But a blow from his great halberd, born of skill and longing, forged and sharpened hard in the cold of winter, and imbued with a touch of magic, could grant him a victory long sought. He hefted his weapon one last time to test its balance, and hoped that it would part Lord Stansbury as it did the thick fog. As he began again towards the bridge, he noticed a moose in the mist, and thought it a good sign. The moose watched the man with the axe walk by through the mist, and thought it a good sign that he did not stop and stare or try to approach him. So long as the man did not come near the moose had no plans to come near the man. Having avoided yet another encounter, he turned and headed towards the large hill where it amused him to stand
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.